I really think I would have loved this movie when I was 15. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainely Movies. Today I'm going to be talking about the 2024 horror comedy, Lisa Frankenstein. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content, like reviews, rank lists, and trailer reactions. All my reviews include a breakdown of the pros and cons, my rating, and some tailored film recommendations, so be sure to watch through to the end of this video for all that extra content. Lisa Frankenstein stars Kathryn Newton, Cole Sprouse, and Liza Soberano, and was the directorial debut of Zelda Williams. Set in 1989, it tells the story of a misunderstood teenage girl who reanimates a Victorian corpse and proceeds to help rebuild him with fresh parts. There's always something so exciting about discovering an upcoming movie that feels tailor-made for you, watching a trailer and having so much fun with it that you know you're gonna love the movie. That's exactly how I felt when I first saw the teaser trailer for Lisa Frankenstein. Its horror comedy reimagining of a classic and its offbeat premise looked exactly like the kind of thing my friends and I would have rushed out to see back in high school. I mean, it's honestly not that far off from some of the stories we used to come up with back then. So it seemed like the type of movie I easily could have had a hand in creating. It's always so great when one of these tailor-made anticipated movies ends up being as good as you had hoped, but it's immeasurably disappointing when that's not the case. I've had plenty of films fall into both of those categories over the years, but unfortunately, Lisa Frankenstein is one of the latter. The premise was the big draw for me, and it remains the film's best feature. The idea of a lonely girl reanimating a corpse and then working with him to find fresh replacement parts is wildly entertaining. Unfortunately, the story just doesn't quite live up to its excellent premise. Much like its central creature, Lisa Frankenstein is a stitched-together Frankenstein of a film, pulling inspiration and pieces from dozens of sources that remain recognizable even in this pieced-together whole. Obviously, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein contributes the biggest chunk of this film's body, with Lisa Frankenstein riffing on its story, characters, and even the name. But this movie uses the guts, limbs, and skin from an assortment of other films. 80s John Hughesian teen comedies, campy 80s horror and sci-fi flicks, Tim Burton movies, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and even silent films like A Trip to the Moon. What results is a mangled mashup that sort of lurches around but never quite feels like a cohesive whole. The pieces are all there, they're just not stitched together in the right way, and the whole thing was given not nearly enough juice to fully animate. I know this film is about an undead corpse, and I fully recognize the irony of saying this, but I wasn't expecting this movie to be so lifeless. It's certainly got its fun moments, but it's a confusingly low-energy film. A lot of plot happens, but it feels a bit scattershot, lacking a driving force to push the story forward, or create any sort of momentum. Instead, things just sort of happen, playing out without any impact. The pacing is all over the place, but what's perhaps an equally disappointing contributor to the film's bizarre empty lifelessness is that it feels like it's holding back. It's 80s looking, but never truly feels 80s set. It's got some innuendos and raunchiness, but never leans into it as much as you'd expect. It's got some body horror elements, but never gets as wildly gory as a movie about a zombie axe-murdering people should. I suspect much of this held-back feeling stems from the PG-13 rating, which is a shame, because this could have been a fun and campy horror comedy, but instead feels like something that could have been splashed across a Lisa Frank folder in vibrant, sparkly rainbow. Lisa Frankenstein is a bizarre mixed body bag of a film. It has some very entertaining elements, and a handful of committed performances, most notably from Cole Sprouse, but it left me feeling surprisingly cold. Despite the fun and promising premise, it's a strangely uneventful and, at times, dull film. The story lacks cohesion, or a sense of purpose for many of the tangential storylines and characters that take up large chunks of the runtime. It's just an incredibly uneven movie that I genuinely don't fully know how to feel about. After this first viewing, I'm struggling to come up with tangible things that I liked about it, and yet it was still an enjoyable enough time at the theater for me. Not quite the ringing endorsement that I thought I was going to be giving this one, but hey, at least they incorporated that Pixies song really well. Alright, let's talk about the pros and cons. The biggest pro is the premise. It's a riff on Frankenstein, and pulls ideas and body parts from a bunch of other movies, but it's a genuinely fun concept. It's dark and macabre, but also funny and a bit romantic, in an unconventional way. Like I said before, this is exactly the type of zombie movie plot scenario my friends and I used to come up with when we were in high school and early college, so it's not surprising that this is up my alley. It's just unfortunate such a promising premise is underutilized here. On the con side, the biggest issue is the pacing. Somehow, this film manages to take a fun premise about a girl and her murderous zombie boyfriend and make it lifeless. It's a movie that's got a lot of enjoyable moments, but it's frequently quite dull, spending big chunks of time on dialogue-heavy storylines and characters that are multiple steps removed from the undead core of the story. It's only a hair over an hour and a half long, but I was fighting the urge to check my watch on more than one occasion. Con number 2 is the uneven tone. Horror and comedy are two genres that go great together, but it's never just a guaranteed thing. And when you start to mix in other genres too, it's easy for a movie to get muddled. And that's exactly what happened with Lisa Frankenstein. It's a stitched together movie, pulling in the best parts of other films, but the reassembled whole is a tonal monster that's somehow less than the sum of its parts, because it never fully commits to any of those pieces. Part gothic horror, part 80s teen sex comedy, part rom-com, part campy sci-fi. This sounds like it should be fun, but the blend never quite works, because it tries to use the body parts of too many films' corpses. Before I give you my rating and recommendations, I want to remind you that if you're interested in buying Lisa Frankenstein or any of the other films I mentioned today, I do have affiliate links for all of them in the description below. I get a small commission from anything you buy using my links, so I'd really appreciate it if you use them if you're in the market for any of these movies. I'm gonna give Lisa Frankenstein 3 out of 5 paws. It's got a killer premise and has a number of highly entertaining moments, but this uneven film struggles with pacing, tone, and story cohesion. It's moderately enjoyable, but not nearly as rad as it could have or should have been. I would recommend Lisa Frankenstein to people who want an easy-to-watch horror comedy, and or to fans of Diablo Cody's writing. I think younger audiences will probably resonate with this the most, and there are definitely going to be some big fans of this destined to be cult favorite, but I suspect most people will feel like it's missing something. Just how much those missing pieces affect your enjoyment will depend on you. If you liked Lisa Frankenstein, I would recommend Warm Bodies. This is another romantic comedy horror, a rom-com if you will, that pulls inspiration from another literary classic, Romeo and Juliet in this case. Told from the zombie's perspective, it follows the romance between a human survivor and a zombie, and explores the effect that has on the undead. If you liked the writing here, but wish things were a little more intense, you'll want to check out Jennifer's Body. Another Diablo Cody penned teen horror comedy, this film tells a story with a little more R-rated bravado. And if you'd prefer to up the 80s-ness, you might want to watch Weird Science. Ditching the horror elements of the story, this John Hughes-directed sci-fi comedy tells the tale of two nerdy teens who create a computer-generated but very real woman. It's certainly a dated movie, but is one of the many clear inspirations for Lisa Frankenstein. Alright, a couple questions for you guys. Number 1, have you seen Lisa Frankenstein? If so, what'd you think of it? And number 2, what's your favorite movie featuring a resurrection? Be sure to leave your answers in the comments below so we can get a discussion going. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this review, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe if you're at it to see more videos like this. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainely Movies, the way life should be.